Jonathan Frakes, best known as the confident and charismatic Commander William Riker from Star Trek: The Next Generation, was born on August 19, 1952. Frakes enjoyed acting in school plays, but he never saw it as more than a hobby. However, everything changed when he took a job as an usher at the Festival of America Theater and was noticed by a director who invited him to join a production, sparking his interest in acting as a career. This led to Frakes pursuing a theater degree from Penn State and then furthering his studies at Harvard, earning a master's degree in drama. Following his studies, he moved to New York City to pursue his dream, but his path to stardom took unexpected turns. In a surprising twist, Frakes worked for Marvel Comics, traveling the country dressed as Captain America before returning to the stage and landing a role in the Broadway musical Shenandoah. His work in the musical opened doors to television, leading to appearances in soap operas like The Doctors and guest spots on shows such as The Waltons, Fantasy Island, and Quincy, M.E., gradually building his reputation. In the early 1980s, Frakes met actress Deborah Lee Scott in an L.A. exercise class, and they quickly formed a connection, leading to their marriage. Frank bought a house in Sherman Oaks, but the relationship ended in divorce. In 1982, he met Jeannie Francis on the set of Bare Essence. Their second encounter while filming the Civil War drama North and South in 1985 changed everything. Francis initially turned down Frank's proposal, wanting to take things slow due to missing out on normal experiences during her youth on General Hospital. Their relationship developed over time, culminating in a heart-to-heart at a McDonald's in a church parking lot, establishing a solid foundation. In 1987, Frank landed the role of Commander Riker in Star Trek: The Next Generation after the original actor was swapped out. The early days of the show were challenging, with Season 1 being considered the weakest, and an episode, Code of Honor, receiving criticism for its tone-deaf and racially problematic portrayal. Frank openly expressed his disapproval of the episode, calling it everything from an embarrassment to a racist piece of garbage, and suggested it should come with a disclaimer if it remains on streaming platforms. Despite the initial challenges, the show improved over time, and fans noticed an interesting correlation between the quality of the episodes and the length of Frank's beard, which became a running joke in the fandom and even earned a name, Growing the Beard. Ironically, the beard only happened because of the 1988 writer's strike, and it was ultimately kept at the suggestion of creator Gene Roddenberry and with the approval of Frank's wife. Riker's beard has become a part of pop culture and is even featured in the Urban Dictionary, which reflects how proud its owner is of this phenomenon. For Jonathan Frakes, Riker's beard symbolizes a turning point when things started going well. During its peak, Star Trek: The Next Generation was not only a successful show, but also a groundbreaking one that propelled the entire franchise to new heights in the sci-fi genre. Unlike the original Star Trek series, which gained a cult following after reruns, TNG became a global phenomenon right from the start. The late 80s and early 90s marked a period of significant global change, and TNG stood out by addressing profound questions about humanity, progress, and ethics, setting it apart from other TV shows of the time. Jonathan Frakes, who portrayed Riker, not only acted in every episode, but also took the initiative to explore directing immersing himself in various aspects of television production before directing his first episode in Season 3. By the time he directed his second episode in 2018 Season 4, The Drumhead, he was already putting his unique touch on the show, directing Hollywood legend Gene Simmons. In one of TNG's most impactful episodes, a retired Starfleet prosecutor portrayed a powerful courtroom drama reminiscent of the Nuremberg trials. The director, Jonathan Frakes, aimed to infuse the episode with a different, more emotional and cinematic feel, deviating from the traditional style favored by the show's producer, Rick Berman. Despite not being a top favorite among fans, The Drumhead had a significant impact on the series. Following the success of The Drumhead, TNG wrapped up after 7 seasons, not due to declining ratings, but because the studio believed the franchise's future lay in the big screen rather than another season. The decision was driven by financial considerations, such as the challenges of selling syndication rights and increasing production costs. Paramount's pivot towards Star Trek Voyager had been planned years before the final TNG season, setting a new standard for the franchise. Despite initial struggles, TNG eventually evolved and, in some ways, surpassed the original series, although Jonathan Frakes expressed a desire for more dynamic dialogue, similar to that of the original series. While Frakes was proud of his involvement in TNG, he felt that the dynamic between characters in the original series was something he missed in TNG. The actor had a deep appreciation for the show, its stories, and the impact it had on his career. While he acknowledged areas for improvement, his honesty endeared him to fans and added to his appeal. After the conclusion of Star Trek: The Next Generation in 1994, he actively participated in the Next Generation movies, both reprising his role as Commander Riker and directing 2 of the films, First Contact and Insurrection. Insurrection, in particular, embraced the classic Star Trek formula by focusing on a thought-provoking moral dilemma, deviating from the typical blockbuster approach to resemble a feature-length episode of the TV series. The storyline revolved around the conflict between Starfleet, led by Admiral Doherty, and the Baku, a community living in an area of space where they did not age due to environmental particles, prompting discussions about ethical and moral dilemmas similar to those in real-world scenarios. The film tackled complex questions about sacrificing the few for the benefit of the many, drawing parallels to real-world events in places like Bosnia and Zimbabwe. Despite not achieving significant box office success, Insurrection resonated with devoted fans by maintaining the signature blend of science fiction and social commentary characteristic of the Star Trek franchise. However, the subsequent release of Star Trek Nemesis in 2002 did not meet expectations, as it shifted focus away from the main cast to emphasize the villain, Shinzon, portrayed by the then relatively unknown actor Tom Hardy. Shinzon, a younger clone of Captain Pyrrd, took control of the Romulan Empire, driven by his obsession with his original DNA source. In his memoir, Making It So, Patrick Stewart described how Tom Hardy, who played Shinzon, kept to himself on set, preferring to stay in his trailer with his girlfriend and barely interacting with the cast. This lack of connection made it challenging to build chemistry, especially given the storyline's heavy reliance on the dynamic between Shinzon and Picard. Meanwhile, director Frakes, who had directed 2 previous TNG films, expressed regret at not being asked to direct Nemesis, attributing it to his agent's suggestion to step away from Star Trek for a while. Frakes later admitted that he would have loved to direct the movie and might have approached it differently. He also criticized Nemesis for not giving enough attention to the core characters that fans had grown to love over the years, citing the editing of Riker and Troy's wedding scene as an example of a missed opportunity. Despite offering his help to director Stuart Baird and emphasizing the cast's readiness to contribute to the film's success, Frakes felt that Baird's refusal to accept his assistance was due to arrogance. Marina Sirtis, who played Troy, openly criticized Baird, expressing that he was not the right fit for the Star Trek universe, as he lacked knowledge of the lore and failed to connect with the cast. The result of these challenges was evident in the box office performance of Nemesis, which only brought in around $67 million worldwide on a $60 million budget, marking it as the first Star Trek film to flop. Even today, Nemesis is widely regarded as one of the weakest entries in the franchise. The series depicting the early adventures of humanity's first starship explorers on the Enterprise, NX-01, failed to win over fans and critics alike. The finale of the series, which shifted focus to two characters from the next generation, sparked frustration within the fan community. Rather than celebrating the unique story of the crew of Enterprise, the finale was framed as a holiday simulation set during the TNG era, revisiting a long-past mission from the perspective of characters not part of Enterprise's timeline. This approach left many viewers and the cast of Enterprise feeling like their story had been hijacked. Scott Bakula, who played Captain Jonathan Archer, expressed his deep dissatisfaction with the finale, stating that it felt wrong for Enterprise's last chapter to become a TNG cameo fest. Even Jonathan Frakes, who returned as Riker for the finale, later admitted it was a misstep and expressed discomfort at being part of a send-off that didn't belong to him or his castmates. Reflecting on the situation, Frakes highlighted the feeling that Enterprise had been shortchanged, especially considering that most Star Trek series got to complete a full 7-season arc, while Enterprise only had 4 seasons. Online fan reactions to the finale of Enterprise were mixed. Some longtime viewers on Reddit felt betrayed, as they believed the finale marginalized the importance of Enterprise in the next generation story. Others expressed disappointment, feeling that the finale disrespected the characters and loyal fans who had followed the show through all 4 seasons. However, there were also viewers who appreciated the attempt to take a bold and different approach. Brandon Braga, one of the creators, later acknowledged that the finale was a misfire, admitting that they had lost sight of what made Enterprise special on its own. In 2024, Jonathan Frakes, known for his role in Star Trek, embarked on a new endeavor by signing on to direct Deathlands, a 10-part post-apocalyptic sci-fi series based on novels and audiobooks by James Axler, produced by Next Cipher. The showrunner for Deathlands is Mark A. Altman, a notable Star Trek historian and co-author of the 50-year mission. The production of Deathlands was scheduled to begin in Bulgaria in spring 2024, indicating a significant time commitment for Frakes. Frakes is known for his involvement in a different kind of sci-fi, characterized by a grimmer, darker, and more survival-focused tone. With a long history in world building and character-driven storytelling, he is expected to bring a strong vision to Deathlands. Frakes has an impressive directing resume, particularly within the Star Trek franchise, having directed multiple episodes over several seasons, including a standout episode titled Lagrange Point. He has openly expressed his enjoyment of working with the Discovery cast and his pride in bringing pivotal stories to life. Currently not attached to any upcoming Trek projects, Frakes is now focusing on Deathlands as his next big move, presenting an opportunity for him to explore new creative territory. Frakes is known for his background in character-driven storytelling and world-building, particularly within the Star Trek franchise. His recent work includes directing multiple episodes of Star Trek Discovery, such as the standout episode titled Lagrange Point in Season 5. In Lagrange Point, Captain Michael Burnham leads a high-stakes mission onto a Breen warship, adding tension to the storyline. Frakes has openly expressed his enjoyment in working with the Discovery cast and contributing to pivotal stories. Currently not attached to any upcoming Trek projects, Frakes is setting his sights on Deathlands as his next major endeavor. This shift presents an opportunity for him to explore a new creative direction, leveraging his extensive experience in sci-fi directing. Given his adeptness in crafting compelling sci-fi narratives, Frakes is poised to shape the gritty and unforgiving world of Deathlands, offering a departure from the hopeful vision of Star Trek.